Good morning from Tokyo. It is cold. I went for a walk, which turned into a run because I was really cold. But I'm on my way into this park and it has the Imperial Palace in it, which I think I see it ahead. It's got the Imperial Palace in it. It's got gardens. It's a beautiful park. On a map, it kind of looks like a Central Park, like Tokyo's version of like a Central Park. And I am excited to check it out. It's cold. It's definitely cold today, but it's still a beautiful day. And running a little while did the trick to warm me up. So here we go. So I might be doing a tour today. Alright, well, whatever tour the internet was talking about was not from there. Looks like that is inaccessible to the public. Maybe it's the actual royal residence still, I'm not sure. But it is beautiful here. This park is stunning. You get such a good view of the city and all of these beautiful buildings. Definitely reminds me of Central Park. Even if I don't get to go inside any of these things in this park, it's still my mission to get through the whole thing, and I want to go out on the other side, on the neighborhood on the opposite side of the park. I entered through the east side, and I want to go to a coffee shop that I found over there, and we'll see how long it takes. My Google Maps told me it was an hour walk, so we'll try. A lot of things closed off and not a lot of signs saying where you can go to actually see things, so kind of inefficient. I am so amazed that Tokyo is so clean. I've seen so many people like hired by the city walking around picking up trash, every little bit of trash. Like there was a man trying with the trash cloths, trying to pick up a toothpick. And I walked by, and I mean, that is dedication to cleanliness. But it pays off because Tokyo is so clean and beautiful. I mean, everything about the places I've been so far are efficiently planned and well put together. Okay, so I'm walking up to the East Gate, and I think this is where the tours happen from. And it said that tours, like day of tours, are closed, like they're full. So it looks like I will not be getting a tour, but at least I get to see the outside. This idea to go for a very long walk in the cold is turning into a bad idea pretty quick. Okay, so after some brief Googling, this is not the residence of the emperor. He lives somewhere else, but it's being prepared to be the imperial royal residence. So, okay, I found my way into the imperial gardens, which are the gardens next to the palace, I guess. Separate, but nearby, and so beautiful and very carefully curated. And I'm gonna have a little walk around here. Ooh. Thankfully in some sunshine, which will hopefully warm me up. Okay, so I'm currently climbing up the site that was the Edo Castle. And in the 1600s, it burned down and they started to rebuild it, and then they decided that they did not need such a huge castle. So they stopped, and this is what remains. Certainly got a beautiful view. The one thing about Tokyo, it's so easy to get around. Like, all of the transportation is super efficient, but Japanese is so difficult to read if you're not familiar with the alphabet, because it's like lines and they're really beautiful, but they're really minimalist and you can't just guess what it means. I love that. The exact purpose of that cellar is unknown. It was thought to be an escape route. Okay, so the defense house was this little house built in order to help fortify Edo Palace, and it had slots so that people could fire out of them. I'm assuming bows and arrows, and yeah, it's an interesting thing to see. I've studied a lot of European history from around that point, you know, like early modern warfare, and so it's interesting to see the Japanese version of it. Okay, so fun. These trees are fruit trees, and they have fruit on them. And so those are supposed to be apple. And then over here apple and persimmon. And over here, I guess it's still apple and persimmon, although it looks like citrus and plums. Okay, over here. And it's all got fruit on it. Not all of it, obviously, but like the ones in the back and the ones over here have fruit on them, even though it's December. That's so cool. I didn't realize Tokyo was that temperate to be able to grow citrus outside in December. This is a really beautiful park, and I've learned a few things about Japanese history, Tokyo history. I actually took Japanese imperial history in college at university, but it was from the opening of Japan through World War II, I think. And that was a hard class because I knew absolutely nothing about Japanese imperial history, which was why I took the class to learn something. And so I learned a lot. Right now, I think a lot of these things were not in the class. So it's fun to learn more about Japan and Japan's history. It's such a beautiful place, and you can just see the culture ingrained in everything. And I am really having fun being here and exploring. Here is the base of Edo Castle again that they abandoned, that I looked at earlier. It said that they decided to abandon rebuilding it because they didn't need such an imposing building because it was peacetime. And the purpose of big imposing buildings was to show power and authority. And with the peace, you didn't need that big of a building. It would have been expensive to take care of and expensive to build. But it is really cool to see the base of what would have been a really big palace. Or I guess it was, and then it burnt down and then would have been rebuilt into a really big palace. Although I kind of wish they had built it because I think that would be really cool to see. That is the music building, and there is music coming out of it, so it looks like it is operational and used for the purpose. I just realized I should clarify what I said earlier. The history I took was from the opening of Japan to the West, not like the opening of Japan in the beginning. I took history on the opening of Japan to the West and all the way until through World War II. I was sad. I missed fall being in Southeast Asia, but the leaves are still yellow and red and orange here and falling off the tree, and so I still get a little bit of fall colors, chilly weather. I'm really happy. Sirens are so confusing. Like, I was just at a traffic light, an ambulance with its siren on drove up. The cars in front of it did not move. It was red for them, and the ambulance just sat there. Behind them, it said something through a loudspeaker, but no one moved. And then when the light turned green, then the cars moved, and then the ambulance got past. I don't really get it. Alright, I'm 4 minutes away from this coffee shop. It was so cool. They roast their own beans. They didn't have espresso, so they made me a latte with pour over. And it tastes good. The neighborhood I'm walking through right now, I think is called Ichibancho. I didn't pronounce that right, but it's on the other side of the park from Ginza. And it's beautiful. To take the metro back to my hotel. I'm not walking. Although this walk ended up being a good idea. It's such a beautiful day. So much better than the rain yesterday. Although I do like a gray day. And it has been beautiful walking through neighborhoods in Tokyo, getting to know the city a little better. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. See you in the next